Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1 and welcome to Boots on the Ground and News You Should Know. If you have anything you could add, please send it to Southern Prepper 1, Southern Prepper 1, just the number 1 at yahoo.com. Please, in the title description, put Boots on the Ground so I can easily find it. Let's get right into it. The Texas Department of Public Safety canceled all their appointments on Wednesday because of a statewide system outage. Appointments for Thursday are also being canceled. They're saying that they did, I guess, some improvements in their system, an upgrade, and it began over the Labor Day weekend and something's went wrong or it's just taking additional time. This just shows you that a cyber attack against the United States would definitely cripple us. Everything's tied in with computers. The Ukrainian top security chief declared that we are already in World War III. It's already begun, it's already started. And he was speaking at a security forum alongside former CIA Chief General David Petraeus. David Petraeus, General Petraeus, as you know, was the commanding general of the coalition forces in Iraq War. He was also, I met him during my time at Fort Campbell. He was the general in charge of Fort Campbell. He is saying, he's comparing this conflict in Ukraine to the Second World War. He says, I haven't seen anything like it since World War II. The Russians are not particularly impressive in terms of knowledge or performance on the battlefield, but they have created a rather outstanding defensive system and it is quite difficult to punch through it. I find this comment that he made, they're not particularly impressed in the terms of knowledge and performance on the battlefield. They went into this war to make sure casualties weren't as high, and they fought a form of warfare thinking they would quickly go in there. They're doing actually extremely well, and their military has battle hardened. They are learning so much because of this, and for him to say this about the Russian military just points me in the direction of who he is. He's definitely working for the New World Order, and he's not a true American patriot. He also says, the general went on to say that he hopes that Ukraine would have been invited to join NATO alliance in the summit that happened in July, but that didn't come to happen. So he's hoping in the next summit next year that Ukraine will be brought into NATO. Bringing them into NATO could start World War III. They are hell-bent on taking us to conflict with Russia and to World War III. So anyone that keeps promoting this Ukraine war, please do not support them. Also, the Biden administration is reportedly seeking another $24 billion in aid to Ukraine on top of the $113 we've already sent to them last year. I think we are just gave them an additional $1 billion, but this is an additional $24 billion. This is coming from Breitbart. The Democratic sanctuary city, Eric Adams, says New York City illegal alien crisis will destroy the Big Apple, as he warns that 10,000 illegal asylum seekers arrive every month and are flooding to each of the 5 boroughs. U.S. gun sales have topped $1 billion for the 49th consecutive month. People are scared. People are buying firearms. You've probably all heard what Liberty Safe did. The FBI asked them for the password or passcode to get into a safe. Now, the FBI didn't provide a search warrant or proper paperwork to Liberty Safe. They just said they had a search warrant to search someone's property. So Liberty Safe gave in immediately without having to. They could have demanded a federal judge order them officially, but they did. So Liberty Safe, you are a dead company. You decided to go along with the government without fighting for people's individual civil liberties. Liberty Safe, you are going bye-bye, sorry to say. The violent crime rate is skyrocketing in D.C. District police are reporting violent crime up 39% in 2023 so far. Theft is up 24%. Robbery is up 67%. Murders up 29%. And this is happening all over the United States. I get lots of boots on the ground reports of just crime in people's area is skyrocketing. This is a Boots on the Ground report from San Antonio. They said 6 San Antonio cops have been shot in the last 2 weeks, 5 of them by bad repeat offenders. 1 accidentally shot himself amidst the chaos. Also, they have a lot more dog attacks every week and more homeless. Kids are carjacking elderly people in nice neighborhoods. Just goes back to crime is increasing, so please be careful. On Wednesday, the Biden administration confirmed that it will stop 7 Alaskan oil and gas drilling leases issued under the Trump administration. So these were suspended. Bottom line is, he's saying that the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, which has a ton of oil underneath it, won't be touched. This is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm all for protecting the environment, but I'm also for pumping oil out of the ground and growing our economy and giving Americans jobs. This was on Facebook and someone sent to me. Very interesting. They actually included the actual official receipt or invoice. And this is from a Chevy dealer. And this is to replace electric battery in an EV vehicle, and they said this is not a very expensive, EV vehicle. It's a low-end one. They said this vehicle had 70,000 miles. So this battery lasted for 70,000 miles. This is the receipt that I saw. The battery was almost $27,000 just for the battery. They included $1,200 for labor. And then they included tax. This brought it just under $30,000 just to replace a battery. I see this is not sustainable for most people. How could someone come up with $30,000 to just replace the battery? This was very interesting. This person says, I have something to share regarding how the government has continued allowing federal employees to remain at home, being paid salaries of $80,000 to $100,000, only to go into work 2 days per week, or 2 days per pay period. They were recently mandated to go in at least 3 days per pay period this past May, but the union pitched a fit, and that was it was too hard enough to do. And this is revolving the people in the FAA. So this person actually works for them, so I have to be very careful what I said, so I won't identify them. Basically, people are not going to work. The union is supporting it, and they're still getting paid full salaries. That's just insanity. They've done a study, and they said the inflation rate, the inflation rate under the Biden president since he started is 16.9%. Now, the Federal Reserve is working hard to lower this, and it was as high as they said officially 9.1, but now it's coming down. But from a lot of people in the field, they're manipulating the numbers, and every time they just change numbers or change what numbers they include into this. We all know what inflation is. You go to the grocery store, and it's pretty much doubled what we paid 3 or 4 years ago. The U.S. military has begun a new formal effort to explore options for how to better defend the homeland against the threats posed by the ever-advanced Russian and Chinese cruise missile. And this was an article. Basically, they're thinking that they might have to put surface-to-air missile sites domestically around the United States. And I can see this happening. As you see the war in Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine is attacking more of infrastructure and more of targets inside Russia proper, hundreds of miles inside of Russia. If a war breaks out and it doesn't go nuclear right away and it is conventional, this is a very likely that you will see missiles impact the United States. And the only way to counter this would be to put surface-to-air missiles, and these would be located in cities, near cities, all along the west and east coast to protect American people and protect infrastructure, and especially protect manufacturing and military bases. The average person cannot imagine missiles landing inside the United States with conventional weapons on, but this is very, very likely. Bankruptcies, business bankruptcies is skyrocketing. Rose by nearly 17% in August compared to July. And we all can see that. We can see a lot of layoffs. This person says, I manage a store in southern Missouri. We've been getting more and more expired products delivered to us before we can even put them on the shelf. Some items expired as far back as May. When we contact the sales rep about this, I ask, have you been getting a lot of expired complaints? And they replied, quite a few. The other two issues are businesses have gotten slower and slower. The end of summer is the cause for some of it, but not all of the slowing business. We also have noticed that chicken pieces and fish pieces that we buy, they're getting smaller in size, and many customers who buy the same products have complained as well about the size of the original product compared to the ones they're buying now. This person says, I want to remain anonymous as we are preppers and I live in southern Arkansas. My husband and I took a trip to Louisiana on 9/2 to restock some items in our pantry. We noticed an uptick in masks down there versus when we were there back in March. I went to my local Walmart in my hometown yesterday and noticed more people wearing masks than 2 weeks ago. My banks have put up the plexiglass back up in front of the tellers. We are fully stocked and prepared and also prepped for my elderly parents. I feel a crash is coming and don't want any of us wanting for anything when SHTF hits. Yes, they are definitely pushing mask, social distancing, and it's just going to get worse as we go into the fall. This person says, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, born and raised. Here's what I've seen in the last week. There's been a series of 17 burglaries in South Seattle. Two black males attacked an Asian male as they were trying to get into their house. One tased the homeowner and he fell and hit his head on the wall. The second had a handgun and tried to get his keys so they could either burglarize his house or steal his car. Authorities think they are targeting people who do not speak English very well, so they won't report it. So there are more than 17 of these known cases. And they've then moved into South King County and kicked a door in. 2 doors were kicked in at 4 a.m. This person says they're seeing more people sleeping overnight in their cars. Went to Safeway, a grocery store, was shocked at the food prices, especially rice. Rice prices have gone up. But they also say if you have anything extra, please help those who are struggling, for sooner or later we'll all be there. I donated extra World Vision this week. And I started a good drive for donating just before Thanksgiving. Figure folks will really, really need it this year, and that is true. I hope you're paying attention to the tropical storm Lee that's out in the ocean on the East Coast. I think that's going to miss us in South Carolina, but it's going to hit somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't. This could be a Category 5, so this would be a major life-threatening storm. So pay attention if you're on the coast of the East Coast. This is from Southwest Washington State. Gas prices in this small town up to $5.39 a gallon. Premium is even more. They do have one mom and pop shop keeping it as low as they can, regular at $4.97. So yes, hopefully if you see a store that's selling cheaper, support them. Hopefully this will give them the ability to keep the prices low because they're doing more volume sales. They did say, I buy the premium for my 27-year-old Cadillac. Runs good and it's paid for. Yes, if it runs good and it's paid for, you better keep it. This person says, I've been in the floor covering industry for over 40 years, and last week I found out that the large manufacturers, and this is multiple, are eliminating terms on products and are insisting instead of getting a net 30 that you have to pay the invoice on order. And then you got to pay it on shipping. So when it's shipped to you, you pay, not 30 days like they used to be. This is huge as the retail sector operates, and cash flow could be a problem. So this is definitely going to be a problem, and they're thinking that some places will go out of business because they will not have the cash to pay for the bill until the customer pays for the bill. This person says, I was downsized the first week of June. My company based in Richmond, Virginia, with multiple factories across the U.S. laid off 1/3 of their workforce, approximately 1,000 people. Because it was spread across multiple states and multiple different brand names, it didn't make waves in the media. I think they're being positioned to go up for sale. We build all the things for hot, cold, frozen for grocery stores, including the refrigeration systems that run it all. All major grocery stores pulled way back on development the first quarter of this year, hence the downsizing. I'm good. I'm prepped up a lot. I prepped up a lot before my job loss. Hopefully this person has found a job, but as I think like a week ago or less than a week ago, they had not. This person, they got their power back, and this is because of the hurricane that hit Florida, the last one. It was 6 days with no power. Please stress to everyone the importance of testing their systems before bad stuff happens. All cell service went down, and although I had friends and families in the area with radios, we had not set up a commo plan yet. So it's hard to connect with people if you don't know what channel, don't know what time. Additionally, I didn't have the connection to properly connect my generator and run power, so this was a problem. Basically, get your stuff, get it up and running, and test and practice. This person says, North Charleston, South Carolina. I usually don't buy coffee when I'm out, but today I was running late. I had to get some. I stopped at Circle K while I was gassing up. At the checkout counter, there's one cashier and about 4 people who needed to check out. I noticed new self-checkout kiosks that weren't there the last time I stopped in. The cashier was just standing there behind the counter, so I tried to bypass the kiosk and check out with her. As I walked up to the register, there was a sign that said, lottery ticket purchases only, so I had to use the kiosk. At the kiosk, it said, no cash payments, cards only. When I placed my coffee cup on the kiosk, it somehow knew I had an extra large coffee, and the price rang up accordingly. And she goes on, but the kiosks are going to result in less and less workers. Phoenix, Arizona. Every first Wednesday of the month, seniors receive an additional 10% discount at Fry's, which is a Kroger subsidiary. So if you're near that, remember that. They also said, I noticed many shopping carts are void of the especially high price items such as liquor and other items that are costly. They also said Kroger brand paper products have also declined in package quantity. As an example, Kroger brand paper napkins have changed from 4 folds to bifold napkins. And the price has gone up 30%. Went to a Best Buy in Indiana. They have big yellow circles on the floor the size of dinner plates leading up to the register. And a sign says, please stay 6 feet apart. Oh, I have many more, but time is running. I'll include these other ones tomorrow. I wish I had tons of good news for you, but there is good news. People are definitely helping people. And if you can, help someone out. Your food pantry, your local church. People are in need of a lot of things. Thanks for watching.